fastest show in sports.
Leading off college football, and the other shoe has finally dropped just when you knew it would.
This all comes after Sunday's firing of Tiger head football coach Brian Kelly. And joining me now with more details on all of this, sports director Doug Mouton. Doug, what a dramatic day.
It has been a whirlwind few days, from Saturday's loss to Texas A&M to everything that has happened up until today. And yes, LSU says Scott Woodward and the school agreed to part ways, and Woodward sent out a letter tonight to the LSU fan base. He's a Baton Rouge native and an LSU alum. Verge Ausberry is now the interim athletic director. This is Ausberry and Woodward together. Ausberry also an LSU alum. He's worked at the school for more than 30 years. Woodward hired 3 coaches, Jay Johnson in baseball, Kim Mulkey in women's basketball, and Jay Clark in gymnastics, who combined to win 4 national championships in his tenure. But that contract with Brian Kelly and the $54 million buyout ultimately led to this. Woodward, by the way, has a $6.7 million buyout in his contract, which LSU is expected to pay. Devin, it has been a whirlwind few days.
Wow, certainly. And what about the search for head coach? What could this do to that?
Well, that's the really big question right now, Devin. Does the governor getting involved and everything that's happened from a national perspective, does LSU just look like chaos right now? And if so, does that take them out of the running for some of the big-time coaches? LSU is going to have to get its house in order really quick if they want to be players for the bigger name candidates right now. And that is a big question right now.
Scott Woodward is out as athletic director at LSU. What a shock. They agreed that he would go. I don't think there was much agreeance going on in there. I think it was, hey, Scott, come here. Sorry to bother you, but you're fired. I mean, everybody knew this was coming sooner or later. It had to happen. But what it has done is create the single most dysfunctional athletic administration in college athletics today. Yes, I mean worse than what's been going on at UCLA. It's far and above. LSU is now screwed, blued, and tattooed when it comes to anybody wanting to actually go there. Now think about this for the moment here. You have other coaches out there who want great jobs. I mean, really, you need a big-time coach at this point for LSU. So what do? You say, hey, come on to LSU. We're in the SEC. We have a great chance to win the national championship. We've got billion-dollar boosters who will give you whatever amount of money that you possibly could imagine. However, we've got a governor standing over here who basically makes it his business to decide who leads and who does not lead. Would you want to go to work for this shitstorm? I think not. I mean, all of a sudden they're talking about at LSU how, maybe a great name coach will come in here. There's no reason to want it. LSU is a freaking disaster. It's just a swamp at this point to walk into, and very few coaches, I believe, will want to do it. Now, are they going to find somebody? Sure they will. The money is intimidating to look at when you think about how much cash they'll dish out. And oh yeah, by the way, we'll talk about this, and when you do get down to the whole buyout issue, do you really think a coach of any repute whatsoever is going to walk into LSU and say, no, I don't think I need a big buyout. No, it's okay. You can fire me anytime you want, and I'll just take my money and I'll go home. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, massive amounts of steaming, swampy bullshit on that one. Because any coach who comes in now is going to want an even bigger buyout than before. So then you're going to have people getting involved like the Louisiana state government who are going to say, we don't want you to go ahead and get big buyouts because it's all on the taxpayers' shoulders, which again is complete and utter bullshit. And you think somebody's going to say that, okay, I'll go ahead and take it. No, you won't. They won't get the big coaches if that's the attitude that they take. Scott Woodward had his issues. There's no doubt about it. But look, when Scott Woodward hired Jimbo Fisher to come be the head coach at Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher was a hot commodity. A lot of people wanted him even after some of the issues that cropped up at Florida State. He was a guy they wanted. When Brian Kelly was sitting out there coming from Notre Dame, are you kidding? This is the guy we need to get in here. He, again, was an attractive coach. So it's not as if all of a sudden Woodward came out and said, let's hire a blithering idiot to coach our football team. No, he got the people who at the time were the attractive coaches. And right now we've got a lot of those as well. A lot of head coaches, a lot of assistant coaches. And some of them may not be the right fit for LSU. It is exceptionally possible. that a really good coach can walk into LSU and just be swallowed up by the nonsense and never come close to touching a national championship. It happens. Things are different now in the NIL, the transfer portal era, and the fact that players are getting paid. It's not all that easy anymore to do this. It's a hell of a lot more difficult to create a winner than it was before. And with the governmental interference at LSU, do you think somebody's really going to want to get involved? Think about that for a second. Also, consider this, if you will. Woodward brought in coaches that had won 4 national titles. All right, it's not as if he just went out and hired idiots. He actually brought in some decent head coaches at one time. But those 4 national titles did not come in football. Football rules the roost at every single college. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Duke or North Carolina thinking about basketball. Football is where the money is right now. And if you can't win in football, you're out. So it's not like Woodward just came in and hired blithering idiots. He hired good people to come in and win national championships. But Brian Kelly was unable to do it in college football because of all the interference. Maybe he couldn't bring the right players in. Maybe a lot of those players in the current transfer portal just decided, by looking at LSU, I don't want to play there. I'm going to Louisiana. I don't want to sit in the swamps. My career will be dead there. Let me go ahead and take a chance on maybe going to Miami or Alabama or Ole Miss, someplace where there is some sort of a background of success that's going on there right now. Because remember, all of these players, it doesn't make a difference who they are. They're coming in and they're looking at the money. Where can I make the most money? What school can help me become a National Football League superstar, which is about a 1 in a 5 billion chance, but they all believe they're going to be stars. And which one will set me up for the rest of my life so I can kick back on my ass and not do a damn thing and just earn money off my investments. That's what the smart ones are saying. The dumb ones are out there saying, hey, I'll make a few bucks and I'll be happy. But that's the way things are right now in college athletics. It's not that easy. And if LSU thinks they're all of a sudden going to put together this big committee, if you will, and go out and find a coach who wants to come coach at LSU, yes, they're going to find people who will want to come to LSU. There's no question about it. But it may not be one of these big-time coaches, if you will, because simply put, they don't want to get involved in the nonsense that goes on at LSU. Oh, and by the way, speaking of the nonsense that goes on at LSU.
We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know, I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's compensated properly. And we're going to put metrics on it. Because I'm tired of rewarding failure in this country and then leaving the taxpayers on the foot, to foot the bill. So, yeah, I absolutely. Who's that? No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach.
This bulbous bullshitter, the governor of Louisiana, Jeff Landry, you knew when he made those statements that Woodward was out. I mean, he made it very emphatically that he was not going to make the selection, and the athletic director always makes the selection. But when it comes to this clown getting involved and basically now running, if you will, or at least overseeing what's going to happen at LSU, he's going to let Donald Trump make the decision? Holy God, save us all. I mean, could there be anything more to make this university just drown in the swamps of Louisiana? I mean, that's how unbelievably idiotic this numbskull is, this governor who believes that he has got the power to do this and he is going to change everything. First of all, he's all wrong. He's completely wrong in so many things that he said. The state of Louisiana and the taxpayers of Louisiana are not on the hook for the buyout money that Brian Kelly is going to get. Not a dime. Nothing. Zero. Nada. That's how much he looked into this. That money comes from the big-time boosters, the billion-dollar boosters at LSU, and it comes at their discretion. They'll pay it because they agreed to it. They signed the contract. They basically let Woodward go ahead and execute the contract. So they're going to wind up paying Kelly his money, and Kelly can sit back and relax for the rest of his life. And it's not his fault. It's not Kelly's fault he gets paid millions of dollars. The university wanted him. They agreed to the contract. And Kelly said, okay, you can pay me 100, 300, 400, 50 million, 70 million, whatever it is, and I'll be very happy. Maybe I'll go out and coach again. Maybe I won't. But it makes no difference to him right now. Woodward was out as soon as Landry opened his mouth. And I got to tell you, I have a political side of me as well that does a lot of this on a show called The Hard Line. But when I heard this guy talk, I'm sitting there mouth agape that anybody, any elected official whatsoever, could possibly, in any sense, be this incredibly stupid and wrong.
Because wait. I want to hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people. Like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? Just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact, there's no doubt, they may even represent some of the players now. Like it's really time for the NCAA to put on some guardrails in college sports. Because, and it's fine. We don't need the guardrails. If big billionaires want to spend all that kind of money, no problem. But if I got to go find $53 million from Kemp, it's not going to be a pleasant conversation. I'm just telling you. I know. And I think that that's important as well. Y'all should start looking into that.
Yeah, we're doing that, as a matter of fact. We're looking into it. He got everything wrong. Those three gentlemen don't have the same agent. Scott Woodward has no agent. And the others are two entirely different agents whatsoever. So he's just making shit up to get out there, and hopefully the idiots will fall for it. And I guarantee you, there are those idiots in Louisiana and other parts of the country who root for LSU who are falling for everything this nabobbing numbskull is spitting out there. I mean, it's all just lies and bullshit. But then again, there are certain people in this country right now from certain political parties who believe in a level of bullshit will get them just about anything they want. And in many cases, they're right. But let's get away from that for a moment and let's just stick to sports for a second here. This guy's an idiot. A raging Cajun cockery of idiocy that just has no clue what he's talking about, no clue what he's saying, no clue of any background whatsoever. And when he talks about the NCAA getting involved in guardrails, who the hell are you kidding? He doesn't even know what's going on in college athletics right now that basically makes the NCAA as completely useless as a seventh big toe. But this is what's involved right now. This governor has nothing better to do with his time than decide what's going to happen to a college football team, which tells you again how out of whack things are in Louisiana. Because here's a guy who's taking time out of a major press conference to discuss the fact that I'm going to make sure Scott Woodward doesn't make the call, and we're going to get the right guy to make the call. Have the people in Louisiana looked at what's going on in this state? I mean, check out this graphic from U.S. News and World Report. Louisiana, overall, out of 50 states in the United States, ranks 50th. They're dead last. It's the worst place to live in America. Crime and corrections, dead last. Economy, dead last. Education, 46th out of 50. Fiscal stability, 46th out of 50. Healthcare, 44th out of 50. Infrastructure, 48th out of 50. Natural environment, 49th out of 50. And for mere opportunity to get involved at something in the state for people to actually be able to succeed, 46th. Louisiana is, according to every single statistic that's out there, and I don't want people to get upset and think that I'm making this personal, but thanks to a governor like this clown, Louisiana's a shithole. And the problem with it is the people of Louisiana don't realize it. You've handed the reins of power over to this mysticulating moron here who gets everything wrong, who lies flat out to you, who decides that instead of worrying about the people of Louisiana, the people that he's charged to care for, he is going to worry more about a damn football coach. A football coach of a college football team, no less. He's going to worry more about that and make sure that a guy gets fired and we bring in a coach and we set metrics for the coach. What do you mean metrics for the coach? You're going to try that? Go up to a major college football coach and say, by the way, you're going to have to win 8 games the first season. Second season, you're going to have to win 9. And by the third season, you got to win us a national championship. Or the contract's off, you get paid nothing, and you're fired. Coach sits back and goes, would you like me to roll up the middle finger right now and let you see this? I'm not coming to work here. There's a million other places I can go where I can have autonomy and I can actually put together a football program that might actually work instead of the disaster you put together here. I mean, LSU has been stripped bare of any notion whatsoever that this is a place where anybody would want to work. And again, I'm not being personal to the people of Louisiana. I have a lot of friends from Louisiana, and I like going to New Orleans every now and then. But you are living in a shithole thanks to the governor of the state who's more concerned about being involved in the selection of a head coach for college football than he is concerned about the welfare of the people who live in the dead last state in America. 50th out of 50 by the time the average comes in. For everything across the board. So pay attention, please, to these idiots, these numbskulls, these wankers who are in here telling you all these lies and bullshit propaganda about everything they can do. This guy has just made it worse to live in Louisiana. So what do you care about a football coach at this point? Really?
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.